Hello and welcome back. Today's topic, we will be going through the firm foundations of disciplined leadership. As a continuation from our CEO series, stick around if that is a topic that interests you. Basically, we are starting to bring it to a home run with fitness and the gym as the centerfold for building performance in work and in life from a health and wellness perspective. As my style continues, I will be sharing my screen with you to go through one of my blogs that I just posted that include a topic that I'm very passionate about. All right. Firm foundations and disciplined leadership. Why slow progress in the gym builds better performance at work and in life. As a coach, I get to help beginners step their first steps into the gym, but also I get to help advanced athletes maintain their physiques to be able to perform out in larger sports or in your hobbies, for example. In leadership, most valuable results are rarely built overnight. Rock solid companies are not built overnight. Unbreakable teams are not built overnight. Vibrant cultures are not built overnight. And neither is a flexible and healthy body. That is one of the most powerful reasons that the gym matters, especially for CEOs, business owners, and senior executives. When training is approached properly and methodically, it becomes a lot more than exercise. It becomes a practical leadership discipline. The gym teaches a principle that every high-performing leader eventually learns. Sustainable performance is built through slow, correct, and repeatable progress. Not shortcuts, not intensity without structure, not random effect. Real progress comes from fundamentals, consistency, coaching, feedback, disciplined execution over time. That is true in business. That is true in leadership. That is true in fitness. You might think, well, why does this matter to CEOs? And it matters to CEOs because in an organization, there are structures and there are different roles. There are the admin, there are the executives, and these structures exist for a reason, for results, for communication to flow in routines, in order to have each process completed methodically from start to finish, and to be able to repeat that process time and time again without compromising standards. The difference between a CEO and employee, it's not just a gift or a skill set or the education or the business acumen. A lot of experience runs behind seasoned CEOs. You may have heard me say this before. CEOs and Olympic athletes or all-star athletes have a lot in common with their focus, mindset, and performance expectations of themselves when it comes to tunnel vision, focused goal achieving. And employees at different skill sets and levels may not ever really understand how the CEO operates, or the CFO, or the COO, or chairman, or different board members, because everybody has their different roles. So it's very important that each person stays within their category and does their job at their level and skill set to their best of ability, and report to the board as a process and system. Similarly, this is how it works in the gym with gym owners, personal trainers, fitness classes. When you go, you'll notice your Pilates teacher fixing your form, because you may not have that awareness to understand how to do things properly. You need that oversight for someone to have those eyes on you to point you in the right direction, because you may be having some blind spots that you're completely unaware of. So, why does this matter to CEOs? A CEO lives under pressure. Decisions need to be made quickly. There is no time to waste, no time for delays, and each team needs direction. Problems require calm judgment. Energy must be managed, not wasted, and the demands are constant. In that environment, physical training is not just about appearance, it is about capability. When it's done properly, gym training develops qualities that directly support executive performance. Discipline under pressure, consistency over emotion, patience with process, energy management, mental resilience, physical stamina, body awareness, posture and presence, controlled breathing, focus and composure. The best trainers do not simply push people harder. They teach mechanics, breathing, balance, form, flexibility, controlled progression. In business terms, they build the operating system before demanding peak output. This is because reducing chance of injury is a priority for the best trainers. We want form, function, and repeatability. We want results for that regard. That lesson has enormous value for leaders, because the executive who learns to slow down enough to build properly often becomes building everything else properly also. That goes back into that saying, the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. The gym is a masterclass in fundamentals. A rushed lift with poor form might still move the weight, but it increases risk and limits long-term performance. The same is true in business. A rushed process may produce short-term movement, but it often creates waste, inconsistency, rework, or later breakdowns. Proper training teaches leaders to value the fundamentals. Form before load. Movement quality before intensity. Breathing before panic attacks. Consistency before complexity. Recovery before burnout. progression before ego. This comes into the form of you can get really good results with a small amount of weight regularly that builds up your endorphins versus going to the gym to be in ego mode to see I'm going to lift the most and end up injuring yourself, right? So you need to know the difference between progression and progressive load versus ego. Especially there's a lot of egos that you'll notice in a gym. The best approach is to leave your ego out of the gym, from what I've seen, if you want to avoid injuries. These are not just fitness lessons, these are executive lessons. The strongest organizations usually operate the same way. They do not rely on chaos and heroics. They rely on sound fundamentals repeated well. Slow progress is how real strength is built. Many professionals are conditioned to chase fast wins. But in both fitness and leadership, slow progress is often the real signal that the right foundation is being built. You really want to prioritize slow and steady progress, especially when it comes to your results. A better squat pattern may not look dramatic in 1 week, but over time, it can impact the knees, the hips, and stability. Better breathing may seem small, but it does improve control, endurance, and recovery. Better flexibility might not feel exciting on day one, but it improves movement capacity and reduces restrictions that limit performance. That is the same is true in business. A better meeting rhythm, a better handoff process, a better feedback loop, a better hiring standard, a better leadership habit. It's very important when we are making corrections that these small corrections are made regularly so that in compounded amounts of time, you're not in the gym doing the same repeated process over and over, having no results and increasing your health risks by not taking the right action. When you avoid taking accountability and taking action, you end up years later in massive regret, wishing, why didn't I just ask a professional for help sooner? Why did I wait all this time to allow my ego to think I was on the right track, I had everything organized, I was doing everything right, later to find that a sudden health decline is the impact of that decision. That's why disciplined leaders should respect the gym. It rewards what business also rewards: repeated quality, not delays and not excuses. Leadership presence starts with physical capability. There is also a visible side to this. A leader who trains well often carries themselves differently. Better posture, better composure, better energy, better control under pressure, better recovery from a demanding schedule, better mental clarity. This is not vanity. This is executive readiness. Executives do require a different level of performance to our usual, normal, everyday employees. Two completely different realms of reality. The gym helps leaders build a body that supports the demands of leadership rather than being undermined by them. Leadership roles are different within an organization, and we require the leadership roles to have their strengths and the get things done, take instructions roles to have really good listening and understanding, to be able to follow instruction, to be able to listen the first time when the leader speaks or the boss speaks. You make notes, you get stuff done, you get your deadlines done on time, you don't have excuses, you don't have a chaotic response. You know that the boss is speaking. Don't make the boss have to repeat themselves for you to understand what to do. If you need clarity, you make sure you have follow-up questions, but you get that job done and you listen the first time. That is where you leave your ego at the door to understand the job that's required. The boss knows because the boss would have done the research required to get the information to delegate. After that delegation process has been decided, your job as an employee is to listen, take notes, and get the job done at your best capability. Fitness in that sense becomes part of leadership infrastructure. The gym should improve performance outside the gym. A well-run training program should not trap someone inside a fitness bubble. And there's no such thing as a fitness bubble. A fitness is a lifestyle. You want to make sure that you have a routine and that supports your heart, your cholesterol for your future. It's scheduling time regularly to make sure you're moving, getting your blood moving through your body, oxygen flowing through your body, nothing stagnant. And this improves how you perform in the real world. It includes your work, but also includes your life outside of your work. A CEO who trains properly is often better prepared to enjoy weekend activity and hobbies, sports, family activities with more confidence and less risk of injury. For example, if you're having to do errands around or organize the house, if you're lifting boxes, you will have the correct form from the gym to not break out your back. If you are going for bike rides with the kids, you will be able to keep up and also be burning calories at the same time while spending quality time with your family. If you are going for a swim, then you will be able to be active on the beach and feel confident in your swimsuit. Good coaching in the gym teaches form, breathing, flexibility, endurance, stability, balance, all of which transfer directly into outdoor performance and long-term health. You may say, I want to be in the gym, I'm not into nature and outdoor performance, and that is okay. You can stay with your Pilates or your yoga or your gym and stay in air condition or do a home gym if that's your style and how you want to spend time with your family. But if you want something more, then you can consider a hobby. For example, cycling, golfing, sailing, running, hiking, swimming, spearfishing, diving, or simply having enough mobility and stamina, endurance to stay active, injury-free, and capable for years to come. So the gym is not a destination. It's quite a personal choice how you want to do your activity. You could do dancercise, dance classes. There's so many types of classes and activities. Boxing, kickboxing, martial arts. If you wish. If not, then you stay in the gym. That's totally an option also, right? CEOs can use fitness as a culture sign. This is a very powerful dimension here. Leadership behavior influences culture. When a CEO visibly respects health, discipline, and recovery and sustainable performance, It sends a message across the business. It says, we are building for the long term. We value energy, not burnout. We respect discipline, not just urgency. We believe in results. High performance should be sustainable long term. And that is what matters. Employees pay attention to what leaders normalize. If leaders normalize exhaustion, overextension, or constant crisis mode, teams often follow. Therefore, leaders must be mindful and very self-aware that they are being watched and followed, and their example is setting a standard. If leaders normalize discipline, preparation, resilience, and healthy routines, teams are more likely to follow that standard. This does not mean forcing a fitness culture on everyone. It means setting a tone that says performance is holistic. People perform better when they manage their bodies, minds, and energy as well. How CEOs can motivate employees through this message. One of the most effective ways to motivate employees is to connect to routines in their physical world. You want to know, how is everybody managing their schedule, their practical life? Are your employees able to prioritize a routine? Most employees are not trying to become athletes, but many do want more energy, less stress, better posture, fewer aches and pains, more confidence, and more ability to enjoy life outside of work. This is where leadership messaging matters. A CEO can reinforce that fitness is not about perfection. It is about building a stronger foundation for work, family, health, and life. This message should be simple. Shoulda, could, would. I don't really like the word should, but we can say, we can make this message as simple as possible. Small, consistent improvements matter and make a difference. The same way business improves through daily discipline, a person improves through daily discipline and consistency. One walk, one session, one better decision, one improvement in posture, one improvement in breathing, one improvement in flexibility, one improvement in recovery. These small wins create momentum. For teams, this can be encouraged through wellness challenges built around consistency, not extreme results, although you're welcome to go for pretty high extreme results if you wish that are within your reach. Nobody's going to say don't go for that if you do things properly. Active lifestyle campaigns, walking groups, sponsorship of beginner-friendly sports, hobbies, flexible encouragement for employees to stay active in ways that fit their budget. Leadership communication that celebrates progress. And if you want to go for perfection, sometimes you do need that perfect 10 score. You can rate yourself on your performance on a scale of 1 to 10 every week. Some people want to give 10 out of 10 efforts with meal prep and exercise every week, and you're very welcome to go for perfection. However, progress still has a success rate that is pretty repeatable over time. So if you have some weeks at 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, maybe sometimes you're traveling and you say, I might give it a 4 out of 10, but most of the time, if you're aiming for 10 out of 10, you're good to go. Weekend hobbies give fitness a purpose. A powerful way to make fitness relevant for your employees. If you're a CEO listening in and you are coaching your employees to a better lifestyle, then leaders alike are able to connect through active hobbies and sports. It is best to understand what position you are really in and what you're capable of, and allow the pros to operate at the top level so that you stay in your job description. When people understand that the gym helps you to perform better in life, training becomes more meaningful. It is no longer about reps and sets, although if you're a straightforward, simple person, by all means, keep that mythology. It becomes preparation for real enjoyment. Below, I put together a list of 20 sports and active hobbies that benefit from proper gym foundations, such as form, strength, flexibility, balance, breathing, and mobility. This list ranges from low cost or low budget options to more expensive ones. Simple starts, walking or power walking. All you need to get started here are shoes and basic activewear. A simple, accessible starting point for stamina, posture, and consistency. Running. Shoes, clothing, hydration gear. Excellent for endurance, mental resilience, cardiovascular fitness. Skipping, jump rope. You'll need a jump rope and training shoes. Low-cost conditioning that improves coordination and breathing. This reminds me of the rebounding with the trampoline, which is really good too. Body weight training and calisthenics. Optional, you get bands, mats, gloves. There are also some weights that come with that. These build strength, control, and mobility at an average cost. Hiking, shoes, backpack, water bottle, trail basics. Great for lower body endurance, stability, and outdoor wellness. Might have a lot of bugs and mosquitoes on the trails, so it might not be for everybody if you don't like bugs. 6, recreational football, boots, shin pads, training gear. This supports agility, coordination, and team-based activity. Number 7, basketball. You'll need a shoes and a ball and a hoop. Good for speed, reaction, balance, explosive movements. 8, yoga. You'll need a mat, optional classes, improves your flexibility, posture, breathing, recovery. 9, boxing, MMA. You'll need gloves, wraps, shorts, class fees. This develops discipline, control, conditioning, and confidence. Really good for endurance, and that will give you some super abs if you want lean muscle. Recreational swimming, swimwear, goggles, pool access, or ocean access if you like to swim and dip in the ocean. Strong, low impact for persons who might be injured or want low impact on your joints. It really embodies full body fitness and breathing control. Similarly, reminds me of diving, snorkeling. 11, badminton. You'll need rackets, shoes, shuttlecocks, court fees. Fast-paced and excellent for footwork and coordination. I haven't seen badminton since I was like, also a long time ago, since the 90s. I wonder if tennis and pickleball have taken over badminton, if it still exists, but interesting. 12, pickleball. This is the craze since what, 2020, 2021? All of a sudden, it took off in America and then became a global hit. So what you need are paddle racket, shoes, balls, and court access. It's accessible, social, suitable for a wide age range. 13, tennis, a typical budget. Yeah, tennis memberships are where it's at for clubs and spas if you travel, you like that sort of thing. Builds agility, rotational strength, and endurance. I wonder if squash is in here. Squash is also a really good one for racket sports. Golf. Golf is really good for social when you're traveling, getting golf memberships, really nice locations on the greens. If you're into that. You'll require clubs, shoes, gloves, range, and course fees. Some people just go to the drive ranges. Some people do the full rounds of golf. Some people go into the tournaments. So as these hobbies progress, you can kind of tiptoe or go in fully to whatever your heart desires and your wallet allows. And it is a strong fit for professionals, benefit from mobility, balance, rotational power. 16, kayaking. Kayaking is one of my favorites because it's super simple. The kayaks are heavy once you have someone to put the kayak in the ocean for you and also pull it out. And you'll need a kayak, paddles, life vest, and if you are renting, I guess, a boating place membership, like a yacht club membership. Really good for core strength, posture, and upper body endurance. Yeah, that's why I like it. Gives your back and shoulders a really good workout. I'm surprised I didn't put some surfing in here too. Stand-up paddle. I love stand-up paddle. I love doing paddleboard yoga before as well. That was fun. And paddleboard is what you'll need. Paddle. Uh, I haven't really seen many people put a life vest on for that. But yeah, there's a strong crossover here with balance, core control, and recovery. Stand-up paddle is quite relaxing. It's enjoyable. I find it more relaxing, meditative than building any like major muscular definition or impact with anything. Paddleboard yoga is quite a challenge, I must say, but quite fun. Spearfishing, that is a really good one. If you like to have adrenaline and you're into boating and you have friends who go boating and you'll need to get like your wetsuits and your masks and your fins, tanks maybe, if that's even gonna take you, or if you're free diving, not sure how far that goes. Safety gear, travel or boat access. It does require a lot of breath control and ability to breathe like calmly underwater and like manage your emotions under the sea. So you will have to develop a certain level of calmness and technique, mobility, and swimming fitness. Number 19, scuba diving certification. You have to get certified, you have to get your dive gear, travel, boat fees. Technical hobby that benefits from good fitness and breathing control. I've never like gone that far into trying it. I've done a little bit of like free diving, what I enjoyed with my free diving friends. Taking GoPros underwater is so fun. And you get to practice your lung endurance by practicing free diving underwater. And you don't have to get too sunburned, so you can still preserve your skin if you're into anti-aging, because you do spend quite some time underwater, although you will still need to put on a lot of sunblock. I'm grateful I got a few little lessons in once, and funny story actually. We took a boat day the other day in December with my family, and one of the people on the boat had a cup and they had just poured like a brand new drink. It was one of those Yeti cups, and it was like a fresh drink, and the Yeti was closed, so full ice and everything. And by accident, somebody knocked it off because we were all swimming in the ocean. Somebody knocked it off the back of the boat and it like dropped to the ocean floor. And we're like, what? The drink disappeared. Is it on the ocean floor? So like, what are we gonna do? I'm not sure how many feet down it was. Maybe 15 max. Like, I can't imagine it was more than 15 feet below us because the boat was on top. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, are we gonna find it? So we found it eventually with goggles. Like one person was standing up on top of the boat. We were looking. Everybody was looking. Like, where's this cup? Where's this cup? It was a silver cup, so it would have like we would have seen it because the ocean floor, like we weren't that deep out. And then we found it. So I was like, who wants to get it? And nobody was like gonna free dive down first. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I was like, okay, give me the goggles, let me do it. Lo and behold, practiced my breathing techniques, went to the ocean, the base of the ocean, and I got the cup from the ocean floor. And then I brought it to the surface of the water, and the full drink was still intact, no seawater got in it or anything. It must have been on the ocean floor for like, we must have been looking for that cup for 15 minutes before we found it. 10 like 10 minimum, 10 to 15 minutes. And no ocean water got in it. So we had that cup, and I was like, got the cup, no problem. Well, that was like fun for me to do because I had the skill set. But can you imagine if I did not have that skill set? We would have just lost the cup and a brand new drink. 20, sailing. Sailing does carry a lot of gear, travel, membership fees for yachting, boat rent, boat storage fees, lessons, building. It builds and benefits from balance, coordination. You need strength and endurance for sure. And also you need a bit of technical skills to know how to rig up the boats properly, because if your sails and your items on the boat are not put together properly with certain logistics, then your boat could not be operating properly on the water. So sailing is kind of technical. As a main takeaway, what we can say so that we can close off well is the real message here is not everybody should do the same sport or be in the same hobbies, because people have different skill sets and environments. And when you go to the gym, you go to build a strong physical foundation, and this could take you into whatever sport directs from there based on your body frame and stature. For CEOs, that means stronger personal resilience, sharper performance, and better executive presence. For employees, that means more energy, better health, and reduced fatigue, improved confidence in your sport, and greater ability to enjoy life outside of. For organizations, it can mean a healthier culture built on sustainable performance rather than burnout. A message CEOs can share with employees. Here's a message worth repeating across the company. You do not need to change everything overnight. You do not need elite level fitness to begin. You do not need expensive gear to start moving. What matters is building your foundation, starting with consistency, starting with learning the right form and practicing that form until you feel like you got the form. Learn how to breathe. Start with balance and flexibility. Start with one walk, one workout, one active hobby, one better choice at a time. Because slow progress is still progress, and strong foundations create long-term performance. The gym, when done properly, is not just about building muscle. It's about building a system, a routine, a system for energy, a system for discipline, a system for performance, resilience, a system for life. For CEOs, it reinforces the same truth that drives strong business. Sustainable excellence is built patiently and with precision. Effortless, consistent communication, showing up. You must show up to get results. This is not something you can bail out. You have to show up in the gym if you want to get results. That is the facts. For employees, it offers a practical path to feel lean, move better, live better. If your goal is to build strength, you can build strength. If your goal is to build flexibility, you can build flexibility. If your goal is to build endurance, you can build endurance. You really want to know your personal goal and work on that. In a gym setting, there is enough equipment to give you the result you require. And if you wish to take it further into a hobby, it will lay a solid foundation for you. Main concepts. If you could remember a few little notes from this: build slowly, train properly, lead by example, create a culture where strength, health, and performance all grow together with endurance, resilience, consistency, and there's nothing that will ever beat constant communication. Because if there's one thing you need to have in a gym and business flow, is the ability to communicate, not only with yourself to know your boundaries and your limits to not get injured, but also to communicate with members on your team. Every person knows if you've ever gone out boating, surfing, diving, running in a group, constant communication is required through everything on a team. Checking in on your people. Is this person here? Everybody's breathing. Everybody has equipment. La da 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 da. Check in, check in, check in. You good? You good? You good? That is a very key fundamental when it comes to performance, not only as an individual, but to be able to communicate that within a team setting, whether you are in a gym or in a sport, in a closed indoor setting or in an outdoor setting. All right, so that's our chat for today. And remember to like, share, and subscribe if you have learned a lot, if you want to apply these skill sets and techniques to your life and organization. And I look forward to seeing you in our future episodes. I really like this chat. I got inspired to make it because I was thinking about all of the hobbies in the world and people who wonder, like, should I even start the gym? What's the point? And you never know what going to the gym could lead you into in the future, but at least you'll know you're fit enough to do whatever. If someone invites you out to go surfing, you can say, well, at least I'm fit enough to carry a surfboard, so I can try, or I'm fit enough to go kayaking, or I'm fit enough to go for a walk because I go to the gym and I have a solid gym foundation. And that's where you start in the gym. If you're comfortable to stay in the gym, great. But if you do want to do more life adventures, you can trust your body to be able to carry you because you would have trained for it. All right, so I will see you soon in our next episode.